Afternoon guys, welcome to video 5 on medium wheelbase transit conversion. Beginning of this video, it's just going to be a quick look round Escort van, because quite a lot of people were asking me how far I got with van. And as you all know, I come off that job to this camper van, but van's actually finished. It just wants a bit of bodywork and painting, so I'll just give you a quick look round that. I don't know how much of this you'll hear because it's quite windy outside, but that's van as it stands now. Bonnet and front wing are only in primer, so that looks rough, but all the rest of it all wants rubbing down and painting. It's going to be in Ford Diamond White, but I did that front end conversion. I put a Mark 5B front end on because I weren't keen on Mark 6 Escort front end, so that's got Mark 5B on. I've put clear indicators on with orange bulbs in, but that's van as it stands now. As I say, bodyworks still needs a bit of fettling, and then it wants a paint, but van it sends all finished. All donkey work's done now. I've got to take them rubber rubbing strips off at doors, because these doors are off at car rather than van. They come with this rubbing strip, and van didn't normally have them, so they've got to come off. They only stuck on, but I'll sort that out when it comes round to painting. The inside at van with car interior, it's really nice. It's now got electric windows, whereas before it only had manual windows. So yeah, it's made a nice van. Imp Bike's going to get a clean and a paint and all. Ford Diamond White. Make some rear door cards up for bike doors. Yeah, that's just to show you how far I got with this. Right, let's crack on with proper van now. Let's crack on that. See you in a bit. Right, just to let you know, overwhelming vote for where my channel's going to go with videos. Most people voted that they wanted to see a lot more in-depth build our do jobs on my van conversions. So I'm going to go with what people wanted, and weather's been against me up to now, so my plan were to get windows in, but it's absolutely blowing a gale outside, and it's forecast rain for the rest of the week, so it's going to be a few days before I get round to doing windows. So in the meantime, I've got my solar panel. I bought this off a Facebook marketplace. It's an domestic one. That means it come off a house, but they're a good make. I've used these on no end of my vans. It's the Canadian solar, and this one's 255 watts. And it gives a nominal 37.4 volts, which when you put it through your MPPT controller, that drops it down to about 12.5, 12.6 volts, which is ample. So these panels there's a couple of holes already in them, but you can guarantee they're always in the wrong place. So what I've done is I've measured the distance between my roof bars, and that's given me 46.5 inch. So I've just divided that in half, that bracket there, and distance between that line and that line is 46.5 inches. You have to allow for a bit of room, so I drill oversized holes, the 13mm bolts that I've drilled oversized bolts in, because it never works out quite right. So there has to be a bit of play in both sides to allow for any discrepancy, which you're guaranteed to get, because you don't know if roof bars are straight on top of van or whatever. So there we go. They're not banging middle at solar panel, it's same, because I've only got 6 inch there between my bike roof rail and end at van, and I didn't want it hanging or end of my van, so that gives me 6 inch to the back of my van. So right, I'll go and have a go at putting this up, but it's like I say, it's blowing a gale outside, so I might finish up like I might be like windsurfing with it. It's really blowing a gale. So I'll go and have a go at putting this on, and once I've put it back on, I'll get back to you. But it's pointless me trying to film you out here, because it's that windy, you'll not hear no anyway. So I'll get back to you in a bit when I've stuck this on. See you shortly. Right, it's still blowing a gale outside, but I'll show you that we've got solar panel mounted now. It weren't easy on my own trying to get this solar panel on top of the van with wind. Worked like a sail, blowing me all out, sure. So there it is, we've got it mounted. I've left this gap here, so if I wanted to put a roof box on, I've still got room for a roof box. I could put it on front and I could access it through sliding door. I could use sliding door step and get access to the roof box. So I've not put sort that out when the bits come off the internet what I've ordered. I'll chat to you when we get back in garage. Yeah, I'm really struggling to get bits for this conversion. Prices have gone absolutely through the roof. I wanted to fit tinted windows and I couldn't get no tinted windows in UK until after Christmas. So I've had to go with what they call standard tint. It's like a green and it matches front windows in van. So it'll look alright, but it's not. It weren't my first choice, but I just can't get hold of right tackle. So I've had to make do with them. But that'll be his next job with them. Like I say, just can't get hold of bits. And what you can get hold on is twice as much as what it were last time I built a van. But there you go. I'll crack on with windows. That's his next job. See you in a bit. Right, viewers, gonna start by putting van windows in today. It's forecast, since I've come back weather, it's never been all raining, it's been as windy as hell. So I've pulled van in garage, and I'm gonna have to do windows in here. Light's not as good in here, but I hope you get gist of what's gonna happen. So all windows are basically the same. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting round this edge. Where two skins meet, that's where we're going to cut. All the way around. I'll do back doors first, but every door's the same more or less. The way I do it is, in these corners, I drill a series of holes in all four corners. I'll show you that once I've done it. On outside, I link them all up by biro, and then I'll cut outside with jigsaw. What I do on this is sliding door side and opposite sliding door same. It's got these reinforcing pieces here. So what I'll do is I'll put a little hole either side of that, top and bottom, and that lets me know when I'm cutting from outside, I know that I'm coming to two skins there. So if it feels different with jigsaw, I know the reason why. Reason is because I'm cutting through two skins of metal instead of one. So I'll get set up now and we'll crack on. Right, that's first of my holes started. Don't know if you can see them. Got one there, one there. They're my top ones. There's my bottom one. There. So I'm going to crack on now. I'll drill round just one corner just to show you how I perform, and it'll be a bit tedious, so then I'll knock it off. Right, I hope you've seen how that corner was drilled out. We'll do other three corners, then from outside join them up with a pen and whip round with jigsaw, and we'll have all them out. Right, I hope you can see where I've marked that out now. I've got my drill holes to follow round here. I've marked all the rest of the outline to cut. I've put an extra big hole in there. That's where I'm going to start. My saw blade on hacksaw is going to start there. Follow it round, and then jobs are good. We'll whip that out now. I'll get back to you in a bit. Right then, just before we start cutting, I've put one of these window things on here. These are they're dirt cheap now, these off eBay. They used to be expensive, but since China started making them, they've come down and they're dirt cheap. But use these to fit your glass, and I use them to hold panel, so that when I cut out, I can hold that and grip my panel, not on one at sharp edges. And when I remove that panel, I can pull it away without it sliding down and damaging my paintwork. Another thing to mention, when I'm cutting out, I've took the big foot, what normally sits, that normally sits on bottom at jigsaw, but it's too clumsy and it gets in the way on tight corners. So I always take that off, and I've just replaced it with a block of wood. Put a block of wood on there, bit of masking tape so paint don't get scratched, and then we're good to go. Oh, that's compressor kicking in. I'm just going to kill that compressor. I've not been using compressor, I've only been blowing tyres up. So yeah, let's get that whipped out. Right, we're nearly through now. I've just got this last bit to cut, and this is where this comes in handy. So I can hold this, stop that panel flopping about. If you're not doing this same way as me, you can always put masking tape across here, support it with masking tape, and that'll stop it flopping about. But because I've got this, I've done that many now, and I've got all tackle, it makes job dead easy. But if you're working on your own and you haven't got all tackle, to stop this panel flopping about, if you just put masking tape around it, it'll stop all that. I'll just finish this panel off for you. Sorry about noise, but there's nothing I can do about that. There you go, that's that panel removed. And it's as simple as that. That's first one cut out. First of many. Right viewers, both windows are cut out now. That's both the back doors done. Opposite sliding door, that's chopped out, and sliding doors cut out. Now, in between two skins at panels, at factory they have panel adhesive squeezed in there to glue these two panels together. Now when you come to fit your trim for your windows, you have to squeeze these two together, and that panel adhesive gets in when it stops them being able to nip up like that. So you have to remove that. Easiest way I've found of doing it is I either use an hacksaw blade, slot hacksaw blade in gap, and cut through it. If your gap ain't big enough for an hacksaw blade, just go in with Stanley knife or craft knife, whatever you want to call them. My days they were all Stanleys. And cut both sides at panel adhesive. Now this is panel adhesive. You can see where it was it was stuck to one side at panel, and that was stuck to the other side. So I've gone along with knife and I've cut all this out. Like I said, if you don't cut that out, it makes your rubber trim right difficult to fit, and it can sprain. It can sprain wire because it's in a U. It's in a U shape, and it can sprain that grip what it has. So I've done that. That's all cut out. It's chucking it down with rain, so it's a good job I made some space in the garage. I've cut my oil out. That's where my electric hookup entry thing's gonna be. I've had that somewhere. That's 240 electric hookup. You'll have seen these before. And I've cut oil out for them. I've got a template. That's my template what I've made. So I just put that on outside of the van, draw around it, cut hole in the middle, in with jigsaw, and a quick whip round with jigsaw, and it's just a bit of fettling with file to make it fit, and then bugger. that fits straight in there, snug as a bug in a rug. So I made that template because I fit that many on him. It just makes job dead easy. So what I've got to do now, these cut edges are all raw metal, so I've got to go around and prime all these. Any primer or any paint will do. I'm going to go around with primer, and what I use is, I've shown you these before. I've got these, they're like a, let me just put, more fingers and thumbs this now. Right, these are them, they're like a cotton bud. Cotton bud, dip that in your primer, just dab along like that. That'll seal that. We can leave that to go off. Should only take about an hour. Then we can knock rubber trim over what pinches these two together, and then we're ready for fitting glass. But I ain't got room to do it in here, so it's going to be outside. So it'll be fitting glass tomorrow, but I'm going to fit trim up today. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Right, I've gone round all bare metal now with some black primer. That's sealed all that up. Now it's gone dry, I'm just going to knock this trim on. Now this trim is called U trim because obviously if you look at it that way it's like a U shape, and this just goes over where two skins have been cut, goes on like that. You knock it on all the way around aperture what you've just cut out. Once you come back round here, just cut it off neat, and then that's done. Right, I'll go and do that now. Right, trim's added to all other windows now. This is the last one. I always start front bottom. Use a rubber mallet so that it don't damage your trim as you're going round. Just take your time. There's no rush. When it comes to corners, I turn hammer around and just use angle. just come slightly past where they meet. And that's it for that bit. That's your rubber trim fitted, and that's sandwiched them two skins together now. All that's ready for is fitting windows, but we'll not be doing that well tomorrow because it's absolutely bagging it down with rain outside, and I want to get them all done in one day, so that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. As regards today, next job I'll be fitting these sound deadening pads. As you all know, because of those panel vans, you do get a bit of resonance. So these are tar pads, 2mm tar pads. They're self-adhesive. You just peel backing off, sticky on bike, put them on in middle of panels, and then it just takes some sound deadening, some resonance out of panels. It stops them drumming when you're on motorway. It just stops them drumming. They're only cheap, but it's well worth doing, and it does make quite a difference, and it does help silence van. So my next job is fitting them. I've run a bit of cable from one side of van to other. That just comes down other side, sliding door, because up over the top and through one of them roof trusses up there, through middle roof truss. Cable runs through there. I always put my entry, just get a view how we're doing. I always put my 240 volt entry at this side of the van. That's so if I'm hooked up on the side and I've got 240 on and I jump in van, before I set off I look in the mirror and then you can see whether you've unhooked or not. Because if you set off while you're still hooked up, you can cause no end of damage and it makes a right mess. So I always put it on this side. Sometimes I have my power at this side, my batteries and whatnot, but on this van they're going to be at the other side. So I've just had to run that cable from one side of the van to other. So that's the reason I always put my hook up in this side. You can put it wherever you want, but that works best for me, and that's why I do it. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow and we'll stick some glass in this van. Right, I fitted them sound deadening pads now. I've just stuck one in the middle of all thuddy panels just to take that bit of vibration out. Put some in roof and all, because they tend to resonate, roof panels. I've put some behind door panels as well. Some kits come with a roller. This kit I just bought sound deadening pads because I'd already got a roller left over from one of the other kits what I bought. So these rollers, they just help you roll them and get it flat, but you don't need them. If you haven't got one of these, a wallpaper roller will do. But yeah, that's them done. I'm just about to fit me electric hookup thing. I just thought I'd show you, if anybody's frightened about fitting one of these, they're dead straightforward, and it tells you where your wires go. Let me get right road around here. Right, so I don't know if you can see it, but where neutral is, it's got an N. Probably can't see it, light's terrible in my garage. It's got an N for neutral. Other side, it's got an L1 plus with brown goes in, so that's live #1 positive, and it's got earth there where middle wire comes in. So once them 3 wires is in right place, and like I say, you can't go wrong because it's identified. And then once you buy your hookup cable, what hooks up into there, you've got 2 14-th van. If you're not confident with electrics, then obviously seek out professional advice, but it is pretty straightforward. It's doable to amateur. Just be very careful. If you're not sure but want to save a bit of money, fit it and then get an electrician just to come and check it over once you've done it. He'll run all tests on it and make sure you've done it right, and that's cheaper than paying somebody to do it all from scratch, because if they come and do a job right from brand new, then right from start to finish it's an expensive job. But like I say, it's pretty straightforward, and providing you think about it, you can't go wrong. So I'm going to call it a day for today. It's still bagging it down with rain, so I'm not going to get my windows in, so that's going to be tomorrow's job. But I'm going out for a drink with lads tonight, so I'll dreading fitting windows tomorrow with Ango, but it's got to be done. Right then, see you later. Morning viewers. Time to fit these windows. It's Sunday morning. We've got a lovely sunny morning, still a bit windy, but ideal weather for fitting windows. As you can see, I've already put my masking tape on, which is just going to stop window from sliding down once I've bonded it in. But that's that prepared. I'm not going to film fitting side windows because it's still windy out, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put side windows in first, then I'm going to bike van up and put arse end just in garage, and then I'll film fitting bike windows. So this is window what's going opposite sliding door. As you can see, this one's going to be an opener. This ain't the privacy glass what I wanted. It's a factory tint. It's actually got a green tint to it which matches front windows in van, so it'll still look alright. And if I decide I want them tinted, I'll just get an aftermarket company to come in and stick some of that window tint on. Right, fitting windows. Always use a really good quality. This is an heavy duty mastic gun. Don't go for one of them cheap flimsy plastic ones because they're just not up to the job. Especially if it's a bit cold. I mean, it's a bit chilly this morning, but I've had this on radiator and it feels alright, feels good enough to use. So yeah, we'll crack on. With these kits, you get a nozzle, and as you can see, nozzles come with a V cut in them. Don't know if you can just make that out. Now, I always slightly open that V up a bit with Stanley knife, just to get uplift at mastic, a better grip. So it's only a tiny bit, about a millimetre. I just deepen that valley, so it gives me a better upstand. I don't know if you can make that out, but yeah, I'll just do that now with Stanley knife. Right, that's just opened that V up a bit. You probably can't see, but that's tiny bit what I've cut out. That's just opened that V up a bit, cut another V out. It's only a millimetre, 2 millimetres tops, but it just gives you a bit more of an upstand on your bonded surface. So right, let's crack on with this now. Right viewers, I've put 2 side windows in, they're already in. I've biked van in, so because it's still windy out, you wouldn't have heard me. So I'm now going to fit these bike windows. This particular kit is different if you've already fitted windows and you're thinking, well, he's doing it wrong. Some kits you have to put a black primer round here before you put your bonding adhesive on. But this particular kit I'm using, you wipe round your frames with these surface prep wipes. You go round frame and you go round black part of your glass with that. That's to clean it. Then primer, what you put on these windows, it's a wipe on one rather than a paint on, and it's they call it preparation M, prep M. You do exactly the same with this. You go around your aperture, your painted panel with that. You go around black part of your glass. You don't put that onto clear part of glass. You put it onto black part. Don't get that on clear part of glass. Then you leave it 5 minutes to go off. Then once it's had 5 minutes, you can then go around with your bonding adhesive. Right, then bonding adhesive, you want an overlap here, so I'll go round, all the way around, and when I come back at top or at side, wherever you decide to do with two joins, you want an overlap and you want top part to be on outside, so if any rain does get down, it can't get in between where you join with this. Right, I'll crack on. I've only got half a tube in this, so halfway through I might have to swap out to other tube. But here we go. Now with this stuff, you've only got 15 minutes to get it on and get your window in, because otherwise it starts to go off. So you've got to look a bit lively. Don't have to make your hand ache, that has to be said, especially on a cold day. Right, we'll have to change hands. Right, well, as neat as I like to do it, but that's where my overlap is, so that bead's gone that way, that bead's gone that way, so if any water gets down back at glass, it can't come that way and get in between beads. Right, stick this on. What I forgot to do, forgot me masking tape, just hold it, stop it slipping down. Right, here we go. Once you're happy with where its glass sits, put your tape down. I like to try and keep a nice even gap all the way around. On bike windows you have to be flush up against that. You don't want it overlapping, otherwise it'll catch on that door when you open. So that goes flush up to the closing part of the door. But rest of it, just try and keep same gap all the way around. They can come off now for the next stint. Just double check, keep double checking my gaps, make sure it's not slipped down. Happy with that. That's fine. Right, I'm happy with that window. I'll stick other one in. You don't have to see that, it's exactly the same process as that one. And yeah, all windows are in. Once it's had a couple of hours, I'll take tape off and then I'll gear a walk around with camera. And that'll be the end of this video. That'll be the end of video 5. It's been a long bugger, this video, but I've tried to show you what I've done, and I hope you found it helpful. So I'll see you in a bit when it's done. Right viewers, this is an end to video 5. All windows are sorted out now. Bit windy out, so you'll probably not hear much. As you can see, I've put a fixed window in that one. This one's a slider. Put a top slider in there because cooker's going to be around here, so any steam coming off of cooking come out of that window. Plus, for ventilation, if you just leave that window open at night in summer when it's really hot, you can safely leave them open without them full air windows. People can get in there, but they can't get in. Can't get in that one. So hookup box. That's all in there. So I've just got boring job of insulating and wiring next, so that'll be my next video. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I hope you found it helpful. If you think this, because it's been longer than War and Peace, this video, if you think it's been too long, give us a thumbs down. If you think it's been alright, give us a thumbs up, and then I'll know where to go on my next video. I don't want to bore you to death, but I tried to give as much information as I could. Right, I'm waffling now, going for my Sunday dinner. Right, see you in the next video. Thanks for watching and thanks for all your support. See you later.